Happy New Year, everyone. After the Christmas holidays, it's time to get back to work. I've headed up, it's the first week in January, and I am motivated to get things done as quickly as we can now. Mother Nature has provided it's going to be clear skies for 3 days. Cold, minus 15 degrees, but I'm used to that, so it doesn't mean I enjoy it, but I am used to it. So we need to make good progress, and the weather for the next 3 days is provided. There has been one little hindrance. It's kind of turned white. We knew it was coming. I said I couldn't avoid it forever, and it has arrived in a big way. It's about a meter of snow up here right now. Cabin looks festive. Let's have a look. As you can see, it is buried. It's about 2 foot up to the door there, and it's all filled up everywhere. It does look beautiful though. Took me half an hour to get up here. It's a meter deep up the hill. I had snowshoes on and I still couldn't get up very easily. This deck has got at least 3 foot of snow buried, and I need to get that off because if this heats up and gets wet, it's gonna cause the deck to collapse. And of course, the one side of the building I want to work on is behind there. The sun has hit it during the last few days, and the snow has slid off the roof. So I've got about 2 meters of snow to dig away. So that is going to be today's job. I've got to get rid of that snow so I can work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw it down to underneath the cabin because it's a bit wet under there, and hopefully the snow will pack down and give me a bit more of a flat surface to work on. But this is it. I knew it was coming. I knew it was going to be tough. So this is where we have to really grit our teeth and get on with it. It's going to be cold, so I've got to get the generator in place, dig out the extension lead, which I did forget. So it's buried under a meter of snow. Get that Jenny fired up so I can get the diesel heater on and crank up the heat in the cabin, because it is going to be cold for the next few days. Minus 15 is not pleasant when you're not working. So that's today, and then tomorrow we'll get on with some more demolition. It's time to get on with it, guys. Let's go. Good morning, and I can say it was a very cold start to the morning. I ran out of gas in the middle of the night, and I have more gas bottles here, but they're under a meter of snow, and I really did not want to go out there and dig them out, especially at 3 a.m. So I got the wool on, got the hat on, 2 duvets, and got back to sleep. But when I woke up this morning, minus 11 inside here, which was not pleasant. So I can't say I'm motivated to get out there today, but I know I've got to do it. So we just got to carry on. So as you can hear a little roaring in the distance, that is my new best friend. It is a diesel heater to warm up this place. It is very noisy, but it is necessary. We need to get this building dry. I've got the majority of the stud work and everything now is below 10% in moisture, so that's good. The humidity in here is not too high, so that has dried out quite nicely. The problem is the floor plate. That's where all the ice was and where all the water was sitting when we were building, so that's at its wettest. Currently at about 21%. We need to get that below 17% just to be sure it's okay to close up. But it could be that we might have to cheat a little bit and insulate the walls and just leave the plastic pulled up on the bottom. But that can also risk a bit of moisture as well. So just going to see how it is at the end of the day when I'm done. The diesel heat is roaring away. It's so nice. It can come in and warm up now, which is great. Soon I can get some insulation in this building and start to be a bit more comfortable. So today's plan is I have to get the main long wall stripped of the old building. So that's going to be that wall. I'm going to strip that out and get it like we did on the back gable. I'm going to take it down, check the insulation, seal up if there's any issues for mice, and then get some plasterboard on. Problem is plasterboard's under a meter of snow, so that needs to be dug out. I forgot to do that yesterday, which was a bit of a mistake from me, but I have to get it done because this area here is eventually going to be the kitchen. That's where I'm sleeping. Those windows are going to go. So if I take those windows out today and I don't get it sealed up, it's going to be a very cold night. So my motivation is to strip that section first up to the chimney there and then get that section sealed before I strip the next one, just so I can not bite off more than I can chew. But I have to leave tomorrow, and I'm hoping to leave midday so I can actually have a bit of a Saturday home with the kids. So if I'm going to take those windows as well, got to be efficient, and I got to get all that insulation moved. So it's time to get on with the day. I'm not motivated to go out there. It's cold, and I don't have to be here, but we have motivation-ish. I need to get this done. We've got people coming to rent, so we've got to press on. You know how it is. Let's get on with it. Well, the thermometer just hit -16 and I'm going to hold my hands up. It's getting a bit too chilly now. I'm going to go in for the last hour. It's nice and warm in there. Do some stud work. I can finish this off in daylight. It's much nicer to do. But I'm pretty happy with how things have gone. I've done a lot of phone calls today and kind of steered the company a little bit. We've actually, luckily today, we won 2 large projects, so that's fantastic for the firm. Keeps the money coming in and keeps me being able to do projects like this. But got it all sealed up. There wasn't a single 60 stud anywhere, which is a pain in the ass because then I have to cut each piece of plasterboard rather than covering 3 studs at a time. I could only cover 1. So I've wasted a lot of plasterboard here. So this last section, the load bearing is all wrong over these 2 windows. So I'm going to correct that tomorrow, and I think I'll stick some proper studs underneath there at the correct spacings, so then I can just finish off this wall nicely. With any luck, I'll get the windows in, and also I'll get that Tyvek on the wall. So when I come back next week, I can put some battens on, and it's ready. So, it's not been a bad day. It's been bloody cold, but what do you expect? It's Norway. It's January. It's gonna be cold. So let's go inside, warm up. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet. Either some stud work or maybe just some insulation. Let's go.
It's a thing. It's a worry. I'm a Terry Wogan, God love him, won Best Breakfast Show on the radio in the UK one year, and the following year wasn't even shortlisted. So he went from like worst to first. And at that point, I'm like, I can't take these awards very seriously. I'd like to get to bed with the Trick Awards this year. That's the old, really old, classic kind of old school showbiz entertainment awards, isn't it? And we used to win quite a few tricks back in the day. I don't know. If you win one year, you don't win it. Oh, really? I don't think people win it year after year. I know. He's hosted it before. Ainsley Harriott has hosted it before. Brian Blessed. Brian Blessed did our year.
Good morning. What a fine morning it is. Crystal clear skies. It is very cold, but when it's like this, it's glorious to work. Even though it's a Saturday, I'm in good spirits. It's nice to be working up here today. It looks so good. And we've been making some good progress. The building is pretty much sealed again on this side. I need to run the Tyvek from there over, but I've corrected the load bearing. I've got new insulation underneath the windows and noggins in place. So as soon as I finish this little corner, then I'll run the Tyvek over. I'm not going to run it all the way up right now. I'm going to stop just underneath the trusses because we've just got to cut them off. The whole ends are all going because we're having a hidden gutter here. Then I'm just going to damage it one more time, so there's no point. So we'll just stop underneath, get it looking nice and sealed and tight, and then I can mount the windows. Get those windows taped in and secure. Then we're good on this wall. And then I'm going to start planning for the next part of the job, which is this wall. It's going to be a big job, this one. I might need some help from Alex on this one because the door there behind me weighs 300 kilos. It's a bit of a big ask for one guy to get it in. I have done it before, but why struggle when you can get some help? But last night I actually noticed the air leakage on this building. As we've discussed, that's why we tape everything up and we put this windproofing on the outside, is to stop the air leakage in and out. And you can actually see on this wall the evidence of why or how it is leaking. Let's take a quick look. So this gable end here is one of the last ones that is left. If you look up here in the roof, I noticed it last night. See all that white markings there? That is air leakage. It's just made visible because of the minus degrees. So what's happening is the moisture-rich air in the building is leaking out wherever it can. And there's always a slight more positive pressure inside the building, so it's trying to push its way out. And it pushes its way out of every single gap it can find. And when that air is full of moisture and comes out and hits the negative degrees, it instantly freezes, and this is what you get. You see the top has got a lot of leakage and all the way down. So that's why we now wrap buildings in Tyvek and tape it. Taped around every window, taped around the gables, wherever it meets the surface, we try to seal it up as much as possible for air. It is just a huge energy loss. So hopefully, once we have done this, it will improve the building and hold its temperature a lot longer. This is what we always recommend to customers. If they're going to change their cladding, take advantage of it being off. Put a new sealer on the outside of the building. Make sure it's breathable so it will let the moisture out, but not the air. Look at that. Extreme leakage. So this wall is next. These windows are going up there. It's going to be all glass, this wall. It's going to look amazing. But that is in the future. Next week. It's supposed to be plus degrees again next week, so we're going to lose a lot of this snow. It's going to melt down, make life a lot easier. And we can press on with this wall. I'm really looking forward to doing that one, but probably means a couple of cold nights up here because I've got to live here while the wall is open. So let's get on with this other wall, get it finished, get the windows in. Then I'm going to call it a weekend and go home. Get on with it. Well, it's been a nice day today. Easy pace, taking it easy, and I managed to get everything done that I wanted to get done. So I've got the windows in, the wall is all done, it's buttoned up, all the insulation is in, extra noggins, load bearing is fixed, and the windows are in and sealed. So that is now ready for cladding. So there's only 2 walls left now to do, and we are ready to put cladding on the rest of the building. So I made the decision that instead of trying to dig off the roof, I'm going to let that melt away for a week. I'm going to get stuck in on this gable end. That's the crowning glory of this house. It's all going to be glass. So I'm going to get stuck in on that next week, but I am going to need help. It's too high and there's too many heavy things to do alone. I can do all the preparation work, but at some point I need somebody out here. So I'm going to see if I can arrange for Alex to come out for one day and I'll do all the prep work. That's going to leave me with one little problem, which is that I'm going to have to make the holes, get all the load bearing done. It means the building is going to be open and overnight. So I don't think I can stay here unless it's quite warm, then I'll be all right. So we'll see. It could be that I have to go home overnight and then drive back up in the morning. But it will be exciting to get that in. It's going to be a really big moment when that is all in. It's also going to give me more space. Every time I do something like this, I get more space, I get more storage, which is really good for me because I hate it when it's crowded like this. So it's going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to doing that. And the weatherman is saying 8 to 10 degrees and sunshine next week. Perfect conditions. It's also perfect conditions for a roof. But as you can see, there's quite a bit of snow up there right now. So I don't really want to get up there and dig that off. Plenty of other things to do. But for now, it is Saturday. It's late. I really need a shower and I'd like to go home and have a nice warm meal. So I'm going to pack it up and call it a weekend. I'd like to say thank you to all the new subscribers to the channel. Welcome. I hope you like what I'm doing. I am still learning and things are progressively getting better, I hope. If you've got any comments or anything you would like answered, just please write it in the comments down below and I will do my best to respond. Be nice. If you're being mean, I'm not going to send a response. So I'd like to say have a great weekend to everybody and I will see you next week. Bye.